Hey, so this is kind of random, but lately I've been working on a prototype for a game, and it has evolved a couple times from its original concept and changed genres, and each time it's done so, what I've done, because it's a prototype and I'm still not sure where the fun is, instead of removing systems or content that don't fit the new genre of the game or the new plan of the game, I've been leaving it in and just disabling it. And very recently I closed the loop on the prototype, and I believe that I found the fun. So I started the process of clearing out the old code and refactoring the existing code so that it's more consistent, and I'm reusing scripts instead of writing different scripts for each button that I'll do essentially the same thing, but with like maybe a different target that I could update with an export variable or something. To be clear, I'm working in Godot, I'm working in GDScript, so everything I'm saying is kind of tied to that language. And it's just been this morning, but it's been so extremely satisfying. I really cannot say enough. It's random. I just want to talk about it. I've been having a lot of fun. Going in and clearing out whole folders of scenes, of content, of objects that I've made for an old system, of huge classes of scripts with a bunch of sibling scripts that support systems that don't exist anymore in my game. And it's almost it's the satisfaction of popping a pimple, or pulling out tweezing hair, or mowing a lawn, maybe is a better example, painting over and seeing a clean paint job or something. It just feels so good, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I also felt really, I brag a little bit, but I mean, it happens with time. I've been feeling the code that I'm looking at, that's some of it's 10 months old, or 10 weeks old from when I started the project, and some of it's considerably longer, and it's add-ons that I've included, or plugins. If you're in a different engine, it might be called a plugin, where I've written code in the past and then I just brought it in because it was going to be used again in a similar way. And a lot of my old stuff, I can tell I had a different programming pattern, a different style to how I wrote code, and going back in and tweaking all of it has been super enjoyable. It's such a little thing, but I don't know, I feel like programming in general is such a fun, satisfying activity, and doing this cleanup job has been extra fun. Curious if other people get that kind of satisfaction. Maybe I'm just a freak for enjoying this so much. One of the big things for me with this current project, I've been having a lot of issues with performance on web, but even in a Windows build, it's been really bogged down and slow. And part of it has been I'm not even gonna worry about it because I have so much garbage in my project that it doesn't make a ton of sense to try and refactor processes and reorganize how things are loaded in and stuff until I know what the final game's gonna look like. And now I'm clearing out the trash, and then I'm gonna start tackling the performance, and it's catching my breath because it's been so bad, and I want to share my game, and I'm excited about my game, and I just knew that that was something handicapping it from being playable by other people or enjoyable at all. And also figuring out how I'm going to redo some of these systems to improve performance. For instance, in my systems, I have a very commonly used class that is a node 3D, but it doesn't need to be a node 3D. It could be a node with just sometimes adding a child that is a node 3D to specify a position, or making it a child of something that specifies position. Totally fine. But having it always be a node 3D just because I sometimes need a position meant that if it was attached to something that moved, which it was always attached to things that could move, then the position of that thing that's moving has to be updated for all of these when it's not needed, and it just costs performance. So making little tweaks like that, and then once I get it where I like it and I feel like it's a good system, I can just like open the floodgates of making content for my game, which is also a huge part of the progression system, because part of it is you earn money, and when you earn money, you can unlock new things to buy by having more money, and they like do better and better things. So like actually having the better things to buy is gonna be awesome. And now that I'm gonna have like a good like foundation of performant code, then I feel a lot more comfortable copying that over like 1,000 times and like implementing these systems into new assets for fleshing out my game more and making more of a game. I'm just so excited. I feel like things are progressing. So that's all. Just wanted to kind of ramble and gush, I guess. Maybe a little bragging. I'm sorry if I'm bragging. I just feel really good. And like, I feel like the more I'm doing game dev and like just, I guess, dedicating my time to it and like going back to old code and looking through it, I'm getting better. And like my code's getting better. It's getting really functional and clean and reusable and all this stuff, because like I'm learning and I'm like recognizing like, oh, this is actually really similar to another thing, and I already wrote the other thing really specific, but now I could rewrite it into something more generic and use it in multiple places. And I think those are going to get added into a plugin later that I can bring into other projects. So it's like, well, I already have a generic script that attaches to a button, and then you give it a target, and when you click the button, it opens or closes, like makes visible or makes invisible the target for like buttons to open different menus and stuff. That's like the kind of the idea. So yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments if I'm an absolute nut job. Maybe don't. Be nice. I don't know. Be nice. Also, if you're curious, I am making chili in the background, so that's what you're seeing. It just needs to cook down for a little bit, get thicker, and that's gonna be super good. I also got some like cut avocado and cilantro and green onions. It's gonna be good. Anyway, so wish me luck on the chili, wish me luck on the game dev, and I'll see you in the next one.